I'm Lucinda Bassett, for those of you who don't know, and I'm so happy that you're here with me on my Zoom call from Panic to Power. I've missed all of you so much. Woo! So good to see your faces. And if you're not with me on From Panic to Power, maybe you're joining me on my podcast, Let Go with Lucinda. So if you're anybody that gives a shit about anxiety and depression, you might want to follow me on Let Go with Lucinda. It's my podcast. And the beauty of the podcast and the beauty of this Zoom call is that I don't bullshit you. I give you all the answers and information to help you feel better so that you know you're not A, crazy, B, alone, and C, that you are enough. And that's what we're gonna talk about tonight, because it's so bizarre. So these are happening every 2 weeks now, as you guys know. And the feedback that I'm getting from this is my coaching day. I've coached a lot of people today. And as some of you know, I do personal one-on-one coaching. It's fabulous. So if you're just looking for guidance, if you want to get over anxiety and panic attacks and move beyond your depression, that's what I do. I'm a really good coach for that. And I'm a best-selling author. I've written 4 books, and I've created a program called Attacking Anxiety and Depression that a lot of you have. And it's helped over 1 million people. But I'm creating a new program now called From Panic to Power, the solution. And it's really going to be fabulous, you guys. In fact, I would like to give all of you a free copy, and I might, just those of you who are on Zoom. In fact, if you want to at some point leave your email, this program is going to be on download. And anybody that's been following me on Zoom regularly, you can't hear me? You can't hear me? Can you guys hear me? Hold on a minute. Tell me if this is better. Is that better? Does that make a difference? Okay. So anyway, if you've been following me regularly on Zoom and you want to go to LucindaBassettBreathwork.com or Let Go with Lucinda on Facebook and leave your email information. Why are my lights going off here? We're going to send people who've been following me on Zoom a free copy of the new program, From Panic to Power. And yes, there's a book called From Panic to Power, but this is going to be a program called From Panic to Power, and it's going to kick ass. We're really, really excited about that. So here we are tonight, and I want to talk about the topic that's very close to my heart and very close. And yeah, if you want to put your email up here, I don't know if Darla's on. Darla is on. She can grab your email. You could also email Darla. Darla, put your email up. I should know it, but I don't have it right in front of me. And I can give you Darla's email. I'm sorry, this light's going out right now. I don't know what is going on. Oh, I see what's going on. Hold on a second. I've had people messing with my computer, you guys. And now my tech support's all messed up. Anyway, I think I fixed it because I can fix anything. Because I am woman. Hear me roar. Ha. Okay. Yep, I'm going to email Darla after this. You need to email Darla. Darla, put your email up here. And put your email up here, you guys. I don't know if I can get them. And Darla, you probably can go on and get them, and maybe you can't. But anyway, if you email me at letgowithlucinda.com, or if you email us at Lucinda Bassett Breathwork and send us your email, you're going to get a free download of my new program when it's out. It's going to blow your mind. So we talk about this topic, not good enough. And the interesting thing is, I love to look things up in the dictionary and see what things mean. And not good enough doesn't even mean anything. There is no definition in Webster, and there's no definition on the internet for not good enough. So when you say, I'm not enough, and that's the other thing, is it that you're not enough, or is it you're not good enough? And so some of the synonyms for this would mean, I'm not very good, I'm poor, I'm limited, I'm disappointing to myself or others, I'm undistinguishable, I'm unsatisfactory, I'm subpar, I'm average, weak, inferior, inadequate, ordinary. This is just, where do these words come from? Where do these feelings come from? Who's telling you you're not good enough? I think it's really important that you ask yourself when you say, I'm not enough, because what's interesting to me, and I always do research. on all these topics. But when I say to myself, well, maybe I'm not enough, you want to ask yourself, does that mean, are you not attractive enough? Are you not smart enough? Are you not successful enough? That's a big one. You know, you go into a party with a bunch of people that you think are better than you. I've been there. I know these feelings. And they're like, well, what do you do? And you're like, oh, I don't know if I want to tell them I mean, you know, I have a lot of friends that are, I want to say like just regular people, you know, they have regular jobs, or they're self-employed, or they, you know, they work for a company, or, you know, they own their own little business. And then somebody will say to them at a fancy party, well, what do you do? And they kind of hesitate and go, I don't know that I want to tell you what I really do, because I may not be enough. I may not be enough to be at this party. I may not be enough to date you. I may not be enough to date your daughter. I may not be enough, you know, to feel good about myself at the end of the day. Maybe you think you're not attractive. Maybe you think you're not smart enough. Maybe you don't think you're educated enough. Maybe you think you're not successful enough. Maybe you just think you're not enough. And you could go on and on and on. You know, I'm not educated enough. I mean, I'll never forget when I wanted to write my book on anxiety called From Panic to Power. And this is such a great example. And I walked into a bookstore with my friend who was a PhD psychologist, which I was not. And I said, I'm going to write a book about anxiety disorder. And she goes, look around, Lucinda. Do you see how many books there are about anxiety? And I thought, that doesn't mean I can't write one. And who was I to think I could write a book about anxiety? I wasn't a journalist. I didn't have a degree. Yes, I don't have a degree. I did go to college, but I didn't graduate. For those of you who wonder, I could have sat there and said, oh my God, I'm not enough. I'm not smart enough. I'm not intelligent enough. I'm not a journalist. I don't have a degree. I better just forget about that dream. But then I wouldn't be sitting here with you, would I? Making you feel like you're enough, because you are enough. And if you've ever read this book, The Solution, which is a fabulous book, and if you don't have it, right now they're sold out, but if you go on Amazon, you might be able to get a used one or one. But anyway, if you coach with me, we send you a free download of it. But the thing is, when she said I wasn't enough, which is basically what she said, who are you to write a book about anxiety? You're not a psychologist. You don't even have a degree. You're certainly not attractive enough. You're not smart enough. Nobody knows who you are. What the hell are you thinking? Now, did she really say any of that? No. But did I hear all of that? Yes. So there's so much I want to tell you, but I want to say, never be defined by your past. It was just a life lesson, not a life sentence. Don't ever use your past as your excuse not to be enough. That's bullshit. Don't ever use what you do for a living as your excuse. Don't ever use your education, or that you don't have enough education as your excuse. Lucinda Bassett, who used to be Cindy Reddick, I went off and got $1 million advance for my first book without a proposal. And From Panic to Power, I sat and wrote it myself, and I'm not a journalist. And when I sent the first 3 chapters in, thinking, God, I'm not a writer, although I do love to write. And then Diane Reverend at HarperCollins says, wow, that's enough, man. I like it. You can do this. And I'm like, really? You want me to write the book myself? And she said, yes. That was pretty affirming. And then I wrote the book, and that book's in 10 different languages now. So I guess I was enough. And I got $1 million advance. This little chick from Ohio who grew up by a railroad track with an abusive alcoholic father, you know, and a really horrible life as a kid, thinking that, and my dad used to sit around and always put people, you know, people who badmouth people who are successful, and they only do that because they're jealous. Yes, do not be defined by your past. So for those of you who are just tuning in, our topic tonight is, you know, I am not enough. And why do we feel that way? And what is that about? Why do we define ourselves that way? And so there's a lot of reasons, but this is one of my favorite topics, because one of the things you got to realize about the times we live in, and I love the times we live in for a lot of reasons, because now more than ever, it's okay to work at home. Now more than ever, it's okay to jump out. I was watching this thing on Tamron, somebody or something on TV at 2:00 in the morning. Yes, I couldn't sleep last night. And she brought on a 45-year-old math teacher who decided she wants to be a clothing designer. And this chick is already successful. She's out there. She spent the whole year of COVID backing out from being a math teacher and designing these clothes because she thought, you know what? I don't want to waste my life. I want to be a clothing designer. So what do you want to be at 45, 55, or 65? You know, and so get rid of that mantra of I'm not enough. Who tells you you're not enough, number one? Who says? And tell them to go fuck themselves, okay? And somebody said, do you have to cuss? Once in a while, I do have to cuss because I am somebody that does say the F word and I say shit. But the important thing is we've got to define some of these things because the truth of the matter is you are more than enough. I want to read this out of this book, The Solution. I've read this before, but I want to share it again. You are enough. In fact, you are amazing. You're bright and strong and confident and beautiful. Yes, I am talking about you. You are full of potential. There are so many wonderful opportunities for someone just like you, just the way you are. You're beautiful. You're exceptional in so many ways. You're an incredible work of art. Your face, your sparkly eyes, everything about you, they just make me want to smile. People enjoy being around you and you draw them to you because you're good company and you put out good energy. In fact, you light up a room. You're special. Time spent with you is just so much fun. You make the world a better place. You make the word love easy to understand. You radiate good energy. You're capable of great things and you're full of spirit. You're a breath of fresh air, a flower waiting to open to the warmth of the sun. You make me want to dance and laugh and play. I know I'm safe with you because everyone is. You're a good soul. You're alive and you live your life with passion. You're valuable, worthy, unique, and you are enough. Yay! I wrote that. And I wrote it for my daughter. And I think at the time she was like 16 or something. I just sat down and I looked at her and Jody, because I embrace cussing, Lucinda. And you don't want to go around and do it all day long, but you know, once in a while. You could say funk, but funk just doesn't have the energy that the other word does. All right. So part of the problem with living in 2021, and you all have heard this to the point where you want to vomit, is that we do live in a social media environment where everybody's posting shit up on social media and they've got pictures of them and their boyfriend and then their new beautiful, what's that car everybody wants right now? Oh, you know, what is it? One that's electric. What is it? Come on, give it up. What is it? It starts with the T. Tesla. Thank you. So, you know, they're posting that beautiful white Tesla and they're posting their beautiful boyfriend and girlfriend and their trip to Europe. And they're posting pictures of their perfect vacation in Florida and they're perfect. And now I have these girlfriends who are beautiful because I do live in LA and I have a lot of beautiful girlfriends. And they go in and they do these things now where there are these apps where you can touch yourself up and take out the wrinkles, make your waist smaller and your boobs bigger. Nobody looks like that in real life. It's like, my God, I said to myself, this happened just last week, one of my best friends, I'm like, oh my God, because I've gained like 7 pounds since COVID. I look like a total pig. I know you think I don't, but I do. Okay, in a bathing suit. So my friend that I thought had gained the same amount of weight, post yourself in a bathing suit on Facebook. Who does that anyway? Okay. And she looks freaking amazing. She looks like she's 25. I'm like, oh my God, look at her body. Well, she did a whole, I forget what you call it, but like edited the whole thing on some app where she could make herself look perfect. And there's something about that that's just, it's funny, but it's just wrong. I mean,
I don't know. I want to see what you look like. I want to see the wrinkles and the look. What you're seeing, this is me, okay? And this is what you're going to see if you saw me in person, and it's real. And I'm not saying you shouldn't do plastic surgery and you shouldn't get. It's so funny. One of my clients the other day, do you get Botox? Absolutely, absolutely. Okay. I mean, it's okay. It's okay. I mean, look, it's okay to look pretty. It's okay to want to lose weight. It's okay to want to get Botox. It's okay to, if you want to get extensions or you want to grow a beard, you know, your boyfriend might not like it if you grow a beard. Did you catch that? No. Anyway, but if you want to, you know, you want to make yourself more attractive and you want to, you know, be healthier and maybe you want to go back and get a degree. Not that you even need one anymore. That's almost a joke. You know, you really don't. What you really need is passion about something, and you need a plan, and you need to be driven, and you need to be really, really clear about what you want, and you need to set your intentions about getting it. That's what matters more than a degree. Because in this book, The Solution, the first chapter is all about all these people that you all know who never even went to college, and they're very wealthy and very successful. So if you're going to sit in the back of a party and think, I'm not good enough to be here, I'm not enough to be here. You know, I think I'm not good enough and I'm not enough are kind of different. I'm not good enough means you're comparing yourself to other people. I'm not enough is almost like I'm not enough. I'm not enough for myself. I'm not enough for anybody else. I'm not enough for the world. And that's almost bigger than I'm not good enough. And they both totally suck and bring you absolutely nothing. But we live in a world and a time where our culture puts on this front of being enough. In fact, being way bigger than enough, you know. Look at Jennifer Lopez, man. She's 50 something and she's stunningly beautiful and she's got an amazing voice, and she goes from one man to back to this Ben Affleck. I mean, you see these people on TV and these superstars, and they're wealthy and they're beautiful. How do you stack up? How do you stack up to your friends on Facebook and Instagram that have perfect bodies, beautiful homes, and hot new cars, and the perfect vacation? And they show themselves on vacation with their 5 girlfriends, and everybody's stick then. Of course, they've all edited the bodies on those picture whatever apps, you know, where you can change everything. So I think it's really important to understand that you're living in a world and a time in the world where there's a false sense of what enough really is. And I think we need to start with that. And hey, is that, oh, hey, is that my Darla? Is she in Florida right now? I'm all confused. That chick's been all over the country in the last month. I'm not sure where she is. When you cuss, it really takes away from the topic. All right. Somebody's telling me when I cuss, it turns them off. And they have the right to tell me that, because obviously I have a lot of good energy. I'm going to try really hard not to cuss. If I do, just, you know, tell me not to do it. Okay. So there's a lot of pressure to stack up in our culture. We feel there's something wrong with us. For example, if by a certain age, we're not married, let's just go with that one, or we're not in a serious relationship, or we haven't had a baby. Well, guess what? Not everybody wants to be married. Not everybody wants to have a baby. If by a certain age, we're not, you know, in a certain career, making a certain amount of money, we don't own a home, and then we go back to our high school reunion. I still remember this, you know, and like somebody's a doctor, somebody's a lawyer, somebody's married to a beautiful guy, and, you know, and you feel like, well, gosh, I'm not a doctor and I'm not a lawyer. I'll tell you, it's, I think one of the reasons that my program, Attacking Anxiety, did so well, and that my book, From Panic to Power, did so well, is because I don't tell people that, you know, there's something wrong with you if you have anxiety and depression. In fact, there's a lot right with you. There's nothing wrong with you if you think you're not enough. In fact, everybody feels that. Feeling like you're not enough is something that everyone experiences, and it's what you do with it that matters. I've got so much I want to share with you here, but I want to find my notes, because these notes are all right. Do you feel like you're not enough? By that I mean, you know, I'd go on a dating app, but I'm not really sure anybody's going to love me. You know, I I don't have a really nice house, and I'm probably 25 pounds overweight right now, and maybe 50 pounds overweight. I don't know. I'm not really working right now. And I'm depressed. I'm not a lot of fun to be around. Maybe somebody's not going to love me because I've been married twice. I've been divorced twice. I'm obviously not really good at relationships. So, maybe somebody's not going to really love me. Maybe I'm not good enough for somebody to be in a relationship. Maybe somebody's not going to like me because, I drive an old car. I haven't been able to afford to buy a nice car. I don't really care about cars that much either. So maybe somebody's not going to like me because maybe cars are important to them. Maybe I'm not as good as other people. I'm not really comfortable in a social situation. I get out there and I get really nervous. I'm not a good communicator. I'm not the life of the party. It's really interesting. One of my podcasts was "You Are the Party: How to Get Out and Have More Fun," and someone I was coaching said that I'm not the party. I'm not comfortable being the party. I'm not the life of the party, and that's okay too. You don't have to be the party. You don't have to be the life of the party. But you certainly have to have life and energy. You want to put out good energy. You want to be someone that people want to spend time with, unless you just want to be by yourself. But people were meant to be with people. So the whole idea is, accepting who you are, and yet giving yourself the opportunity to say, well, if someone is judging me, is there any truth to what they're saying? What is the message I'm supposed to learn? Is there something about what someone is saying about me, like my daughter or my boyfriend, that maybe I need to work on? Don't get all haughty and think, I'm more than enough. I have no problems at all, because we all have problems. We all have stuff we might want to work on. But the bottom line is, it's about loving yourself where you are, how you find yourself, loving yourself unconditionally, just as you are. And then stepping back and saying, when I have these feelings that I'm not enough, or I'm not doing enough, or I'm not a good enough mother, or I'm not a good enough wife, I'm not a good enough person, I'm not a good enough employee, I'm not a good enough friend, then why are you saying this to yourself? And asking yourself, what are these I'm not enough signals? What are the messages that I'm getting? What is this feeling that I'm having that I'm not enough? What is it that I need to learn about myself, so that I can love myself unconditionally in the moment and say, hey, I'm enough, but I could be a better person. I could be a stronger person. I could be a healthier person. And it'd be really good to say to yourself, when did I begin to feel like I'm not enough? There's all these studies with Harvard and Stanford about why people have this thought about themselves that they're not enough. And very, very often it started at a very early age. And believe it or not, if you think back, when did you start to feel like you weren't enough? Probably somewhere in your childhood. Maybe you had a parent who made you feel like you weren't enough when you were, 10 years old. I know my father was always very jealous of people with money. He badmouthed people with money. And he always reminded me that, you know what? We live by a railroad track. We don't have that kind of money. We're not those kind of people. There was a company in town where I live called Marathon Oil. We weren't the Marathon Oil people. That was his favorite line. And I thought, wow, what are Marathon Oil people? I want to be a Marathon Oil person. I didn't know what a Marathon Oil person was. So ask yourself, number one, when and why did I start asking myself if I was enough? When did I start doubting that I was enough? Have you made mistakes in your life that you still haven't forgiven yourself for? Was there some message you got from your parents as a child that made you think that you weren't enough? Number two, who is it that's telling you you're not enough? Who is it that's making you feel that you're not enough? Is it your husband or your wife or a good friend or your daughter or your son or someone that maybe you're a student and it's a teacher? Don't let anyone determine how you value yourself. That comes from in here. Would you talk to someone you love the way you talk to yourself? Would you ever sit there and say to your 20-year-old son, you're not enough? No, you wouldn't, unless maybe they're an addict or an alcoholic or, really an unhealthy person, and you wouldn't say you're not enough. You might say you're not healthy. You need to take care of your body. That's your temple. And by the way, this information isn't just for you. You got to think about, are you giving others the message that they're not enough? Because that's the worst thing you can do to someone. And you think, well, yeah, but she's a psychologist, or he's a best-selling author, or he's an actor, or she's really beautiful. I'm sure. How many times do you hear, he's a really good-looking guy, you don't want to go out with him because he's probably an arrogant asshole? Well, just because somebody's attractive doesn't mean they're an arrogant asshole. Give them the chance to tell them who you are. People say the nastiest things about people who are famous just because they're jealous or envious. It's not even true. I see things on Facebook or things about people that I personally know that are really good people. And that's one of the bad things about being in the public eye. People get jealous and they will go on and say things shitty about you. Believe me, as you guys know, it's happened to me, and it's not even true. So who is telling you that you're not enough? Would you ever talk to yourself? Would you ever talk to someone else the way you're talking to yourself? You need to be your own cheerleader. You need to be the one saying, I am enough. Be kind to yourself. Be your own biggest fan. I love that. Believe in yourself. It's all about making yourself feel like you are enough right now, today, when we get off the Zoom call. You know what? I'm enough. Doesn't mean I don't want to improve. Doesn't mean I don't want to grow. Doesn't mean I don't want to work out more or be healthier, but I am enough. I'm enough to walk into that party. I'm enough to get on Tinder and meet someone that the love of my life. And you know what? If you're feeling like, I need to lose 20 pounds, then maybe you do. That's when I say, be honest with yourself, but you be the one, you be the judge, you be the one giving yourself the message. You are enough. You control how you feel about yourself. That's the good news. But that said, people that you spend time with and people that you care about can influence how you feel about yourself. If you surround yourself with defeatist or negative people, or people who are envious, or people who are just negative, then you might begin to feel less capable about yourself. And if you listen to people who criticize you all the time, by the way, if you hang around with narcissistic people that criticize you all the time and you can never do enough to make them happy, get away from them for a while. And, but the hard thing about that is it might be your family. So, but that's when you've got to take a step back and say, I know I'm enough. They're the one with the problem. And don't say that to them, but see that in your mind. When someone sits there and starts making you feel bad about yourself, you just need to say, you know what? They're the one with the problem. And anybody that deliberately makes anybody feel bad ever, they suck. Okay. That's not a healthy thing to do. Any destructive judgment or any kind of critiques of you are often not even about you at all. They're about their own insecurity, their own neuroses. Maybe they're so overwhelmed with their life that you just piss them off because you're not doing things the way they want you to do them. So they're going to start putting you down and telling you you're not enough. So consider whether your critics can become a positive force in your life, or if they're people who are destructive to you. And then you have to decide how much time you want to spend with them and how much power you want to give to them. So who do you surround yourself with? Are you surrounding yourself with people who make you feel small and like you're not enough? Are you surrounding yourself with people who make you feel important and special and beautiful? Because you are. And you don't have to be the perfect weight, the perfect height. You don't have to drive a brand new, Prius or, what are those things? Tesla. You just have to be authentic. You have to have a good heart. You have to be loving. You have to care about other people. But most of all, people want to be around people who love themselves. And so that I am not enough syndrome is one of the most unhealthy things people do. And believe me, you're the best judge of who you are and what you need. So when you're starting to feel like you're not enough, step back and say, and I have these great notes that I wrote right now. I can't find them. I'm so frustrated. Ask yourself, why am I saying this to myself? What am I supposed to be learning in this moment? Why do I feel like I'm not enough? What is the message for me here in this moment? What is it I need to improve on? Maybe I'm not happy with my body weight. Maybe I'm not happy with the way I look right now. Maybe I would like to go in and get a makeover. Maybe I would like to get some Botox. Maybe I'd like to go to the gym. Maybe I'm not happy with my career right now. There's a story I told in one of my books about two waitresses who go to work at the same job in the same restaurant. And one comes home every night, shakes her pocket and goes, oh my God, I hate this job. I hate that restaurant. It's a terrible place to work. There's no money to be made there. Why do I wait? Why do I work there? I hate my job. The other waitress who works at the same restaurant comes home every night, pulling out all of these bills going, oh my God, I love my job. I make so much money there. What a great restaurant. Now, how can two people work at the same restaurant? One's making a lot of money and the other one's making nothing. One's happy, one's miserable. Well, because one is just negative. And she feels like it's not enough. She's not enough. Nothing's ever enough. The other one is like, this is enough. I'm making a lot of money. I have my own schedule. I can control my time. I can take vacations. This is a great restaurant. People really love me. I love this job. Sometimes this whole I'm not enough thing's all about your attitude. And that's the beauty of that, is that's something you can control. You guys mute your mics, make sure your mics are muted so we don't have any background sound. I can't hear it, but some people are telling me that they can hear some things on mics. So remember this, the people that you're comparing yourself to or putting yourself up against they're comparing themselves to other people too. And they also feel like they're not enough. Okay. We all compare ourselves to other people. And I can assure you, the people that you think seem to have it all together don't. I talk to them all the time on the phone. That couple that looks like they have the perfect life and the perfect children and the perfect car and the perfect home. They don't. Everything's not perfect behind closed doors. You know, I mean, there's so many really wealthy, successful people that this has come forward about just in the last couple of months. Also remember that when you look at other people through the lens of compassion instead of judgment and jealousy, you might see them for who they really are, as opposed to envying them. Your mind can be a very convincing liar. Don't believe everything you think about yourself. Okay. Oh my God, I'm such an idiot. I just made a fool out of myself. Everybody in the room saw me do that. I'm so embarrassed. No, they didn't, and they don't care, and they won't remember. You're not that important. And I'm not saying that in a negative way. Don't take yourself so seriously. Thoughts are just thoughts. When you have cruel, negative thoughts that go through your mind, one of my clients is working with a friend of mine who does work on negative thinking. And she says, just think of it as a snow globe and you shake it and it's full of negative thoughts. And when you put it down, they fall on the ground and they go away. Or if you start having negative thoughts, think of that stupid drunk uncle, right? This is in honor of you. Your drunk uncle at a wedding who says all these stupid things that everybody's embarrassed about, and you're not going to pay any attention to anything he says. You walk up and he goes, where'd you get that dress? Say, God, he's drunk again. I'm just going to ignore him. That's how you honor those feelings when somebody makes you feel like you're not enough. I promise you this, there is more right with you than wrong with you. Okay? I promise you. And I want you to write that down. And the things that are wrong with you are what's right with you. Okay? And I know that sounds confusing, but let me explain that. So if you're an anxious, sensitive person and you overthink and you take everything personally and you always want to help everybody and, oh my God, what's wrong with me? People take advantage of me. All I do is give. Nobody cares. Nobody loves me. Well, what's wrong with you is you're a very sensitive person. You're a giver. You wear your heart on your sleeve, like that song says, which I love. But that's also what's right with you. That's what makes you a beautiful person. Maybe because you are, a regular person living a regular life. And maybe that's what makes you so beautiful. Maybe that's why you have so many friends. It's often said, and it's very true, that people who live kind of a simple, normal life and who believe in God and are spiritual, they can be a lot happier than people who live high on the hog with a lot of cars and a lot of money and a big life. A lot of those people are really stressed out and overwhelmed, and there's a lot of pressure that comes with that life. So there's more right with you than what's wrong with you. And even what's wrong with you is right with you. In fact, a lot of what's wrong with you is what's right with you. If you're a worrier, if you're scared, if you're afraid to be alone, if you wonder if you're enough, all that's beautiful. It means you're a vulnerable human being. You're someone that, if you saw someone fall in the street, you'd run over there to help them stand up. If your next door neighbor couldn't get out of the house, you'd be over there bringing them some chicken. You're the person that shows up. Showing up is so important to being enough. Just show up. That makes you enough. Okay. Showing up. Have you ever had anybody show up for you? It's one of the biggest things you can do in life. You need love most when you feel you deserve it the least. And this has been a hard year for all of us. Maybe you did lose your job. Maybe you did gain 20 pounds. Maybe you lost your husband. Maybe you lost someone to COVID. Maybe you have been alone for the last year and a half. And now we're all dealing with the Delta variant and we got to put masks back on. And maybe that's sending you into a bit of a depression. And maybe you're always worried about, am I going to get COVID? Now what? Well, don't sit there and beat yourself up and say, I'm an overreactor. I'm a worrier. I'm scared to death. We're all in the same boat. So we're all going through that together. You need love the most when you feel you deserve it the least. When you are feeling like you're not enough, who can you reach out to tell you, not only are you enough, you're incredible, you're beautiful, you're a breath of fresh air. I just love to be with you. You make me want to laugh and sing. You just make me happy. Think about the people in your life right now that make you feel that way. Who is it that you love spending time with? And then ask yourself, why do I love spending time with that person? You know why? Because when you're with them, and journal this, this week, when you're with different people, I want you to journal about what you feel about yourself when you're with that person. I think you're going to be amazed to find that the people that make you feel the best about yourself, and I don't mean like you're fabulous and put you on a pedestal, I'm just the people that make you feel comfortable and make you feel like you're enough, maybe even more than enough. Those are the people you enjoy being with. I have the opposite problem. Sometimes I think I'm too much. Do you ever have that fear? I got to talk about that because that's the opposite. Like, oh, I'm not enough. I'm like, oh my God, I'm too much. I talk too much. I want to play all the time. I've got too much energy. I like to dress really hip. I can tell you stories. I'm a lot. Okay. I'm not someone that says I'm not enough too much. I usually say I'm too much. God. And I probably am. But then again, that's okay too. It's okay to be too much. And if you know that about yourself, bring it down a little bit, man. Own it. What I really love about people is when they can own it. Own it. If you know you need to lose 30 pounds, own it. If you know you need to quit smoking, you all know what's offensive. Nobody likes smokers. Okay. Nobody wants you to sit around and be blowing smoke in their car, smoke in their face. Nobody likes people who are impolite. Nobody likes, some people are offended by people who cuss. And I really appreciate it that she said, hey, you don't have to cuss, and it takes away some of the power of what you're saying. Then tell me that, and I'm going to work on it, because I respect what she's saying. And so you have to hear what people are saying and evaluate it. And you don't always have the time in a moment, in a party, in the whatever. But I think I told you, I was at a party with my fiance, and this woman came up, and we were invited to this party. I think I told you this last time. And I didn't know the owner of the party. I didn't know hardly anybody there. And I walked in looking like me, and I could be pretty. I like to wear fabulous stuff, and I make an entrance, and I'm with my beautiful fiance. And we weren't there 10 minutes, and this woman comes up, wraps her arm around my fiance, and says to him, "Who are you?" And I took her arm off of him, and I said, "That's my fiance, and you need to get your arm off of him." And I laughed. And she walked away in a huff, and I walked up to someone and said, "Who is she?" And they said, she's this is her house, it's her party. And I'm like, oh my God, I was too much. There's an example of me being too much. And my fiance said, if you could just wait 10 minutes, like what you teach in your program. Wait 10 minutes before you react and respond. Maybe you would have realized that she was, the host of the party and she was just being fun. And so that was, I didn't go, oh, I'm such a fool. I said, oh, what do I need to learn in this moment? I need to learn to be an underreactor in social environments. I need to learn to not be so jealous. And what's that jealousy about? That jealousy is about maybe me feeling like I'm not enough, right? Like I have this beautiful man and he's a doctor and he's my fiance. And it's like, sometimes I feel like, am I enough for him? He's really brilliant. He's well-educated. He's handsome. Why does he want to be with me? And yet he'll have those moments. Wow, she's Lucinda Bassett and she's beautiful and she's got all this energy. Why does she want to be with me? And the beauty of that is we are mutually adoring each other and it works. And I make him feel like he's enough and he makes me feel like I'm enough. But really, yes, Ray, you are a beautiful man. You're hilarious. You guys are all hilarious. What if you are alone and you have no one? You better get on a dating site and find someone. There's no excuse for that. I was alone. I went on Tinder. I now have a fiance. Okay, I'm all in for Tinder. I'm telling you, get on a dating site. I mean, there's all kinds of dating sites out there, and it doesn't matter what gender you are, what your sexual preference is. It's all okay. Get out there and find your person. And maybe you don't want a person. Maybe you just want friends. And there are sites for those too. Don't be alone. You do not need to be alone. Alone sucks. Okay. And I've been alone. I've been alone a lot. In fact, when I got hit by the truck, I spent 6 months pretty much alone because I couldn't walk. I was in a wheelchair for a couple of months and then COVID hit and then I was home. And I was doing, some of you might have seen me. I started the Zoom calls just to help people. And I was doing dancing with my dog night. That's how desperate I was. I was dancing with my dogs and my cat, putting it on Facebook. It's like, you've got a good looking boyfriend. I've got my dog. All right. But I saw the humor in it. And I also went on a dating site. Yes, Lucinda Bassett went on a dating site. If I can do it, you can do it. And I met the love of my life. And there are very few times when I feel, what's so funny? The people that can make, oh, that's so sweet. We think you're enough for us. That makes me feel good. The people who can make you feel like you're not enough most often are your family. Sometimes your children, your adult children make you feel like you're not enough. Why are you wearing that outfit? Why are you wearing that makeup? Why are you dressed like that? Why are you talking like that? Why do you get out of blah, blah, blah? Why do you hang out with blah, blah, blah? And you're like, go get a freaking life. All right. I ever notice how adult children reverse the role? All of a sudden they're the mother and you're the daughter. Trying to tell you why, as their cleavage is hanging out. Why is your cleavage hanging out, Mom? Well, your cleavage is out, but I'm the daughter. You're an old woman. You're not supposed to have your cleavage out. There's another example of too much. Just in case you wonder who I really am. But you know what? I have two. You have two kids who won't talk to you. Well, then you're not alone. You need to find out what's wrong with those kids if they're not talking to you. Listen, we've all been through that. Okay. Don't take that so personally. And if you have a question, throw it up there or a comment. I've been through periods of time where one of my kids won't talk to me. And, it's like, you might think, well, but you're Lucinda, you can figure anything out. No, try to help your own children. Good luck with that one. Okay. They don't want to hear it. But you know what? One of the most powerful statements I've ever heard, and I still believe to this day, is choose your battles. If people in your life want to say something about the way you look or the way you act, and you want to get a little bit on the defensive, don't. Instead, take a 10-minute to 24-hour timeout and say, what am I supposed to learn? Why is this bothering me? Is this something that I want to react and respond to? I took these notes and I'm trying to find them. I was in such a hurry because I had all these contractors at my house today. Oh, here we go. All right. So I think Number one, who's making you feel like you're not enough? I want you to spend some time this week. And what are they making you feel? Okay, so is it your daughter? Is it your best friend? Is it your employer? Who's making you feel like you're not enough? Number two, is what they're saying true? And not that you're not enough, but if they're saying, you know what, you need to lose weight, or you know what, you talk too much, or you know what, your cleavage is showing too much. I don't know. So number one, who's making you feel like you're not enough? Number two, is anything they're saying possibly true? Not that you're not enough, forget that. But if they're saying something about you that they think you need to know about that might be somewhat negative, is anything that they're saying true? Three, do you want to learn from what they're saying? Is there any information that you can take away from this? Four, do you want to set goals for change and growth? That may, in other words, maybe something they said. So when my fiance said, if you could take 10 minutes and respond in a social situation before you get jealous, which is true, he was right. He wasn't being mean. He was saying, he thought it was kind of funny, but he said, because we're both jealous. So we got to think before we react and see what the real truth is there. That would have saved me the whole moment. Okay. So number four, are there goals or intentions you want to set because something they said maybe had value? Don't even respond to them. This is about you. So do you want to set some goals? What are the goals you want to set? How can you begin to work on them? Five, what about you is great? This is how you handle that feeling of I'm not enough. Who said it? Why did they say it? Who in your span, your circle is making you feel like you're not enough? Why are they doing it? Is there any truth to anything they're saying? Is it something that you can learn something from? If so, do you want to set some goals and intentions around working on some of the things that you would like to change about yourself? And then five, what about you do you love? What about you is great? I think, and then six, accept yourself for who you are in the moment. Love yourself unconditionally. Accept and understand that nobody is perfect. Accept and understand that everyone struggles with the I'm not enough syndrome. It's a real problem that people have. And more than likely, and if you want to do some journaling about where does this come from in my past or my childhood, what happened to me growing up? I mean, look, I grew up with a violent alcoholic father. I lived in a brown shingled house by a railroad track. I felt cheap. I felt like I wasn't as good as the Marathon Oil people, and then I had a father who always reminded me that I wasn't enough. And then when I grew up, I became, an attractive young teenager. And then I thought, well, listen, I must be attractive because I seem to be attracting people. And then I went out and I got 2 jobs. And I bought myself a Camaro back in whatever year that was, 1972. I bought a really pretty white Camaro, and I started dating a college guy, and I started working at an art studio, and I was a designer. And I began to feel like maybe I have some potential. Maybe I could be somebody. And then, with everything you do that you see success from, it gives you the confidence to go do something more. So I wrote my first book, and I wrote it myself, and it was a bestseller. And I created the Attacking Anxiety and Depression program. It's helped over 1 million people. I'm not a nurse. I'm not a PhD. I'm me. But what I am is I'm smart, and I'm passionate about what I do, and I'm sincere, and I love to help people. And I went through the tunnel, and I walked the path, and I can share that. So know what you're good at, know what you're not good at, know what you love about yourself, know what you need to work on. But if you're hanging out with people who make you feel like you're not enough, maybe they're not enough. Because when someone makes you feel like you're not enough, then it's usually because they feel they're not enough, and they feel they want to put you down. Maybe you're not what they want you to be. And that, that's not their decision. And the most important thing you can do in your life is make someone feel like they're more than enough, that they are loved, they're valued, they are special, they're they're the light, and you love being in their company. And I don't care who they are, how much they weigh, where they come from, what they drive, how much money they make. Everybody wants to feel that. And everybody has a right to feel loved. And it's just as important that you make people feel like they're enough as it is that people make you feel like you're enough. So the message to this evening is you are more than enough. And if people are telling you you're not, or making you feel like you're not, ask yourself, why do I feel that way in the company of these people? And what is it I need to learn about myself from not feeling like I'm enough in this situation? And what are the things I want to set as intentions and work on that to make myself feel better about myself so that I feel like I'm a good person. I'm 65 years old. I've been through a lot, and I'm in such a really great place in my life. And there are times, and just recently, when I feel like maybe I'm not enough, I should be out, I should write another book, I should do this, I should do that. But it isn't about that. It's about me doing what I want to do because I'm passionate about it. It's not about me needing to feel important and needing to feel like I'm enough. And that's really important to determine. Are you doing something because you're passionate about it, or are you doing something because you want to feel like you're worthy and like you want to feel important? Like, I want to create a new program because I feel like the time is right. There's so much more out there. People really need help right now. There's so much more information than there was when I created the Attacking Anxiety and Depression program, and people need this information desperately. The times we're living in are very confusing to people, and nobody trusts anybody. And social media is, but I don't know, it's good and it's bad. And so I want to create a new program, and I'd like to write another book. So I'm going to do these things because I want to, because I'm passionate about it, not because I need to prove anything to anybody. I'm enough. I'm a lot. In fact, I'm too much. That's another question. Ask yourself, am I too much? All right. Well, I love all of you. We're going to breathe. I think in tonight's breath session, you might ask yourself, what is the message that you got out of this Zoom call, podcast call tonight? Maybe it's that you are enough. You're beautiful just the way you are. It's called unconditional love for yourself. Okay. Maybe the message is, maybe I do need to work on what my husband's telling me. Maybe I am, too negative. Maybe I do need to work out. Maybe I do need to take better care of myself. Maybe I do drink too much. Maybe I do smoke. I shouldn't be smoking. I don't know. What are the things that you love about yourself? I always like to end everything, even with myself, on a positive note, so that when I go away from whatever that energy space is, I need to go away feeling good. I need to go away feeling up. I need to go away feeling like like tonight, I'm going to go meet a girlfriend and we're going to have dinner, and I'm really looking forward to that. And I'm enough to hang out with her. She's excited to be with me, and I don't have to get dressed up. I can go out like this and I'm enough. Anyway. All right. We're going to breathe. Are you ready? I had a rough day this week, and this was the best way I could have ended it. I appreciate you. Well, I appreciate you too. And I'm here for all of you. I hope you guys will all follow me on the podcast, Let Go with Lucinda. Yeah, I think you want to subscribe to it. That's a good thing that brings some advertisers in. It's not making any money. I do it because I want to do it. I hope that you will. If you're interested at all in working with me and coaching, please feel free to call Darla. I'm going to give you that number right now. Darla is reachable at 419-350-7499. 419-350-7499. And she can talk to you about coaching and all the other things that you might be interested in. I'm trying to find my music right now so that we can breathe. So you want to get yourself in the position to breathe, and make sure I've got my music. And what I like to do when I breathe is put your right hand on your heart chakra and your left hand on your solar plexus, which is right below your breast and above your belly button. And why? Well, because your right hand's all about other people really, and just kind of giving, and your left hand is about receiving. And I believe we get a lot of messages through the universe from into our solar plexus chakra, and that comes in from your left hand. So I want you to go into the breath session tonight, maybe with I am. You know, I am, when we breathe, I use a lot of I am enough. I am worthy of great love. I am strong. I am loved, and I am loving. And I am, this is the great I am. It's God. It's the universe. It's that energy that you feel when you breathe. It's the energy that I hope that I'm sharing with you. So I want you to go out into this week knowing that we are going to get through this COVID situation. We're going to go through another little bit of a hump, but we'll get through it. We are grateful to be here. We are grateful to be alive, and we are grateful to be out and living our lives, being able to hug people. We are enough, and life is good. And so I want you to go into this with some kind of intention about feeling worthy that you are indeed enough. So let me put on some music, and away we go. I gotta turn my light off. So the best thing you can do right now is you breathe into the count of 3, and then a short breath out. Breathing into the count of 3, short breath out. And if you can keep that breath connected, that's preferable. And you're going to go into this, close your eyes, put your right hand on your heart chakra, your left hand on your solar plexus chakra, and know that you are in good hands. You're in your hands, God's hands, and my hands. I've got you, okay? Safe to breathe. Safe to be in my body. I call upon the great I am, masters of light and angelic forces, to give everyone here tonight a very clear and powerful signal of their connection to their higher self. Breathing in positive energy, confidence, self-worth, unconditional love. Breathing out pure thoughts, acceptance, peace. I am worthy. I am safe and secure. I am always cared for. I am loved and loving. I am as God created me. I am enough. I am in perfect balance. I let go and let God and surrender to the experience of this beautiful breath work. I am safe. I am sound. I am in my own breath energy. I let go and release the past and any judgment about myself from the past. I am capable of divine acceptance and divine forgiveness. I call upon the great I am, masters of light and angelic forces, to give everyone here any information or signs he or she may need to see or hear at this time. Phone's ringing. Should have had that off, you guys. Keep breathing. If you want to take a moment and ask any questions at this time to the universe. What is it I need to learn? What is it I need to hear about myself? What is it I need to understand? Maybe you just needed to hear that you're enough. Keep breathing. Feeling the energy of the universe from the top of your head moving down through your throat chakra, your heart chakra, your solar plexus chakra, all the way down to the tips of your toes. You are enough. In fact, you're beautiful. You're full of great magical energy. You are a gift to yourself, to the universe, to your family, to your loved ones. Stand in your power of God, the power of God energy. You are spirit. You can make a difference in your life. You can make a difference in your family's life. You can make a difference in someone else's life tonight, tomorrow, because you are more than enough. Keep breathing. One of my favorite quotes, I wish I could show you when you are lonely or in darkness, the astonishing, amazing light of your own being. I want you to wiggle your toes, wiggle your fingers, bringing your breath back to a steady pace. Letting any information come to you right now that you may need to hear or see. So I want to thank you all for joining me tonight. I hope you'll join me a week. It's not next week, but the following Tuesday for our next Zoom call. And if you're listening to me on my podcast, I hope you'll follow me on Facebook and Instagram on Let Go with Lucinda. And I hope that you'll keep joining me on these Zoom calls because I love doing them with you. And if you want to talk to me, you can call Darla at 419-350-7499. And I'm doing some coaching. I am going to be going out of town at the end of August for a while. Actually, going out of the country. Woohoo! So come see me, come hang out with me on these Zoom calls because there'll be a point where I won't be doing them for about a month. And I've got so many lovely things I want to share with you. Meanwhile, go out and make it a fabulous week to be you. You are more than enough. That's the message you need to give yourself. All right, you guys, I love you all. Hi, Ray. Love you.